My daughter is dead. The men from my house said it plain, standing in the road, in front of everyone dead. And the man I ran to for help, the one I threw my dignity away for. He stopped. He stopped in the middle of the street to help a stranger, while my little girl's breathing turned to silence. I am Jairus, ruler of the synagogue, and I am about to tell you what happened when I followed a man I barely believed in past the point where hope made any sense. Because what he did in that room, I still cannot speak of it without my hands shaking. But to understand what happened on that road, you need to know what was happening inside my house. She is 12 years of her laughter filling our courtyard like birdsong, her small hands reaching for my beard when I leaned down to bless her at night, 3 days before. The fever came. By the second day, her skin had gone the color of ash. By morning, she stopped opening her eyes. My wife sat beside her, pressing damp cloth to her forehead, whispering prayers that had grown hoarse. The physicians came and went. They took our silver and left us silence. The house smelled of herbs that do nothing and grief settling in like dust. I had heard about the Galilean, Jesus, the one who teaches with authority my own scholars cannot match. I need you to understand what I did next, because a man like me does not do this. I ran, robes gathered in my fists, sandals slapping stone, a ruler of the synagogue running through the streets like a man with nothing left. I found him at the shore, stepping from a boat, a crowd already pressing in, and I did something I have never done before, any man. I fell at his feet. My knees hit the dirt. My forehead nearly touched the ground. I did not care who saw. My little daughter is at the point of death, I said, and my voice broke open like something fragile. Come and lay your hands on her, so that she may be made well and live. He looked at me, and he came. Relief flooded through me like cold water. He was walking beside me, the crowd crushing in on every side, and all I could think was, faster, please, faster, because every heartbeat was one my daughter might not have. Then he stopped. In the middle of the road he stopped, turned, said, "Who touched my garments?" I could not breathe. His disciples said what I was screaming inside the whole crowd is pressing against you, but he stood still, searching, waiting. A woman came forward trembling. She fell before him, and he listened. He listened to her whole story, while my daughter was dying. He called her, "Daughter." He told her, "Your faith has made you well." Daughter. He calls this stranger daughter, and mine is slipping away. Then I saw them, men from my household, pushing through the crowd, and their faces told me everything before their mouths did. Your daughter is dead. Why trouble the teacher any further? Dead. The ground tilted beneath me. The noise of the crowd turned hollow and distant. 12 years of laughter, of small hands, of whispered prayers at bedtime. Gone. But Jesus turned to me. He turned as if those men had said nothing of consequence, and his voice, steady, unhurried, impossibly calm, said, "Do not be afraid, only believe." He said it the way you would say, "The sun will rise." I do not know how, but I walked with him. He let no one follow, except 3. When we reached my house, the mourners had already gathered, wailing, beating their chests. He walked in and said, "The child is not dead, but sleeping." They laughed at him. The sound was ugly and sharp. He put them all outside. Then he entered her room. My wife was there, face swollen from weeping. The room was dim and still. My daughter lay on the bed, small and pale and perfectly motionless. I could see the outline of her ribs beneath the linen. I could not feel my own hands. Jesus took her hand, her small, cold hand, and said 2 words, "Talitha cumi." "Little girl, I say to you, arise." And she opened her eyes. She opened her eyes and sat up and stood, and the color rushed back into her face like dawn breaking over water. My wife cried out. My knees gave way again, but this time not from despair. My daughter was standing. She was looking at me. She was alive. Jesus told us to give her something to eat, as if this were an ordinary morning, as if he had not just pulled my child from the grip of death with 2 words and the touch of his hand. I am Jairus. I held my dead daughter's name in my mouth like a funeral prayer, and he gave her back to me.